Hey everyone, welcome back to another Facebook Live. I'm your host, Jess.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
And today we have a big Facebook Live, lots of content, great special guest. We're going to get into introductions and all of those things in a minute. Lauren's going to give us our Facebook Live etiquette, and then we will jump right in.
So, like just said, before we jump into all of the awesome stuff we want to talk to you guys about in terms of everything you need to know about going back to school online this year, we do just want to say that you're welcome to add any advice, questions, any kind of commentary in the comments. We love when you guys engage and we get to engage with you. Feel free to like if you're so inclined, or share this with anybody who may also benefit from this information. We just ask that you don't leave any personal information in the comments, like your student ID number or your phone number, anything like that, because the comments are public. Instead, you can give us a call. If you are currently a Penn Foster student, you can call Student Services at 1-888-427-1000. If you are interested in today's topic about going back to school online and you want to learn more about our programs and how this might work for you specifically, you can call admissions at 1-888-427-6500. So that being said, we get to dive into the fun stuff. First things first, let's introduce our very special guest, our senior admission specialist, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to be here and get started with all of this.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Penn Foster and maybe share a fun fact about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Stephanie, as you guys just said. I'm a senior admissions specialist here at Penn Foster. And what that means is I'm on the front line. So I am the person you're going to be speaking to when you first call in and get information. I'm going to be able to answer all of your questions about the program, just like any of our other admission specialists. And if you're ready to get enrolled and get started, we can help you out through that process and help you get started today. And then a fun fact about myself, I was trying to think, I was like, what's something that's like Scranton? I am a huge fan of The Office. I probably watch The Office every single day. My sister and I are obsessed. We can probably quote the show as we're going through it. So yeah, big Office fan.
That's amazing. Did you see that they're making Office-themed Legos?
No, I didn't.
I did see
That's
this.
wild.
Yeah, they have some references to famous Scranton, Pennsylvania landmarks. And for any of you watching that are confused why we're talking about Scranton, our Penn Foster is headquartered in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So that is where all of us are based.
Yeah, I'm
Very
definitely
cool.
gonna have to look into it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So now that we're all well acquainted and we all know each other, let's jump into the good stuff. Obviously, before we jump into all the nitty gritty specific things about online school, it's probably a good idea to go over how online school works and, kind of the ins and outs and stuff like that. So can you just shed a little bit of light on how online school works here at Penn Foster?
Yeah, of course. So online schooling at Penn Foster, it's very similar to traditional high school in a lot of ways, but then in a lot of ways we're very different. So one of the main ways that I would say we're different is flexibility and just having that control and stuff like that, the affordability with Penn Foster. Now we are an accredited high school. So Penn Foster, we have our national and regional accreditations. So you can, have that security that, you are earning your high school diploma with Penn Foster. We are backed up. But diving back into that flexibility, our students have, they don't have any set study schedules or anything like that. So you're able to log in whenever you'd like to do your classes, you complete them at your pace and your speed. So, you do have that difference from traditional schooling where you're not set in a strict, rigid schedule. A lot of the classes you'll be doing will be the same things you'll be taking in traditional high school. So things like your math, English, social studies, history courses, things like that. And you will have electives, so you have that flexibility to choose some classes. We have career pathways, so if there is something that you really do want to get into, you can kind of get a head start in that career as well. So yeah, so those are some of like the main things about what makes online schooling a lot different, and just like flexibility and being able to take it with you along the way.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool how with Penn Foster, you think sometimes that if you're going to take an online schooling situation, you're just going to like learn all the specifics, but the fact that there are electives that you can choose to take and gives you like that little bit more personalization that you do get when you're in a traditional high school. I think that that's one of the coolest things about Penn Foster High School.
So when you want to enroll, how does that work from when you enroll to when you're able to actually start taking classes?
Yeah, so it's almost instantaneous. So when you're ready to enroll, that whole enrollment process over the phone only takes about 10 to 15 minutes. You take contact information, we go over tuition options, you get a student ID number, you sign into your student portal, and you're ready to get started with classes right away, same day.
Now, Stephanie, is there a situation where you have to order materials like books and stuff like that?
Nope. So everything that you're going to need for Penn Foster is going to be included. So all of your textbooks, they are going to be ebooks. They're going to be right on your device, right in your student portal, along with all your lessons, your exams, reaching out to instructors if you need help. Everything that you need will be right there for you.
That's
That's
great.
so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
like having an online textbook too, because you can kind of just, like copy and paste things or like, highlight them and don't have to have a physical book in front of you and you can keep them all in one place. So that's a really great upside to just like online textbooks, I think.
You're not like breaking your
Yeah.
back carrying around a heavy backpack filled with
Yes.
books.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Exactly.
fun.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to the library or study something, you just got to bring your computer with you, honestly. You're set to go from there.
That's so nice. So for anybody who may relate to the breaking your back with the backpack situation, who's come from a public high school or any kind of in-person high school, and you have some experience with that, but you're thinking about maybe going online this year instead of going back to your brick and mortar school, how do transfer credits work? Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, of course. So transfer credits, I love this because this allows you to kind of pick up where you leave off. So your transfer credits, no matter kind of what grade you're in, obviously like ninth to 12th grade, if you've completed any of those years and you want to get those transfer credits in, it's a relatively easy process. So we would get the transcripts, the official transcripts, which are the signed and sealed documents directly from the school. We would evaluate them. We have our whole transcript team. They're fantastic. They work on evaluating those transcripts, making sure we're getting in the right credits for you into our program. And those credits would come in, and then you wouldn't have to take those classes. So you're getting credit for classes you've already taken. Helps reduce the time you're spending in the program, making sure you're not, reiterating material you already know. And there's also a tuition discount. And I mean, who doesn't love saving a little bit of money? So, we take a little bit off tuition there for you every credit that comes in.
I actually didn't know that, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a huge bonus.
I love a savings, so.
So how would you know which of your credits are going to transfer in? Because I feel like that would probably be a big factor when someone is thinking about enrolling.
Yeah, so we have a couple different ways we can get transcripts in. So usually if you're an adult learner, so 18 plus, and you have some credits that you want to get transferred in from when you were in high school, Typically, you can just contact your old high school or the school board and have them send the official transcripts right to us. If you were under 18, so 13 to 17 in that high school range there, typically I advise to call in to us just so that we can, see if we have a relationship with the school. Sometimes they have different regulations for transcripts. But once we get the transcripts, we will let you know. So in the student portal, it will block out saying, you don't have to take this class. So your student portal will progress you through one class at a time. And then any credits that you have coming in, you won't have to take that class. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't remember what credits transferred in or anything like that. It'll automatically update there for you.
That's awesome. That is just right in there. And you kind of know what you're getting yourself into that way. How does Penn Foster determine which credits transfer?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for what credits transfer in, first we're going to want to make sure it's coming from an accredited school. So a regionally accredited school specifically, making sure that just like we have our backing behind our program, making sure that the credits you have coming in are backed as well. Now, once we determine that, then our evaluators will look at a couple things. So first of all, we're going to want to make sure that they are full credits. So let's say, for example, you've completed 9th grade and you're in 10th grade now, but you didn't finish out 10th grade. You send your transcripts in 9th grade, we'll be fine. We'll be able to look at those. But 10th grade, since you didn't finish out that year, those credits, they can be considered partial credits and might not be able to transfer in. So making sure that they're full credits. Another thing is making sure that they're passing grades. So making sure that you have a 65 or in letter grades a D or above. And then the last thing is making sure that the curriculums match up. So, a history class for a history class, but also making sure that the content in those classes, which, like I said, our transcript evaluators, they're fantastic with that. They'll be able to look into that and see that the course content matches up. We try to do our best to make sure we're getting, a fair amount of credit sent in for you.
That's great. I mean, it definitely sounds like, you guys try really hard to give every student coming in the most credit for everything that they've done thus far, to get that discount and to just start where they are supposed to start. But if let's say I'm a student and I'm about to transfer into Penn Foster, is there a way for me to look at the stuff that I've already done in my traditional high school and kind of have an idea before I actually enroll in Penn Foster of what's going to transfer and what won't?
Yeah, of course. So we have what we call a pre-evaluation. So if you're in that situation and maybe you're on the fence and you're like, well, I want to see what's actually coming in before I actually, make that full commitment. That's where we can do a pre-evaluation for you. And that's where our admission specialists, so people like me, you'll be able to call into us. We can set up a pre-evaluation and what we do for that. So it's at no cost to our students because we want to be able to give you this information. We would need to set up a non-active student ID number. So we would set up a student ID so that when we get the transcripts, we're like, oh, okay, these are so-and-so's transcripts. We can apply them right to your account and know how to get them back out to you. So we can do that, and we can do a pre-evaluation on an unofficial copy. So if you have maybe transcripts from your school that they give to you and that's an unofficial copy, you can even just snap a picture of it and email it right into us. We'll be able to do that evaluation on that. And then we would, of course, need the eventual official copy at time of enrollment. But with that information, we'll be able to still evaluate the transcript, and we'll send you out what we call the pre-evaluation. And you'll be able to see in a nice, it's a pretty nice checklist there. It'll say, okay, this class, and this class transferred in. This is what you have remaining to take. And this is the tuition discount that you'll be receiving. So students are able to see that all before enrollment if they choose. Yep.
That is so great. It's so nice to have the opportunity to have all the information you need right up front before you make a decision. And it's awesome that you and your team do that. I think that that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially for some students, because I know they're, you want to make sure you're getting credit for what you've already taken, which, we want to make sure of that too, because, the classes that you've taken before, they count, this information. So we want to make sure that we're doing our best to show students that, you can still transfer these credits in, this is what you have, and it kind of gives you like a peace of mind before enrolling too.
That's a good point. And I think too, if credits don't transfer, it's because we genuinely want you guys to learn what you need to learn when you have a high school diploma. So it's really about making sure that you're getting a quality education that's actually going to help prepare you for what comes next, whether that's college, a career, whatever you have in your plans. So, either way, it's good if you can save some time and money, but we also want to make sure that you get what you need to get out of your program.
Exactly. Yep. I love that.
So now on to a topic that can be sometimes dreaded, but maybe one that can be made a little bit easier with learning online, which is exams and how grading at Penn Foster works.
Yep. So exams, I get this all the time. So exams with Penn Foster, in general, so kind of breaking it down to like when your exams are. So when do you have to take them? So you'll have each of your courses, like your big classes, like your math class, your English, history, those different types of courses. Then in those courses, you'll have different lessons. So it usually ranges, I say, between usually 2 to 6 lessons per course. And then at the end of every lesson, you'll have an exam or some different kind of graded assignment. Most of the time, it's going to be an exam, though. And those exams, they are multiple choice, and most of the times they are self-paced. So there is no time limit on those. So after you go through your lesson material, you go through the different assignments, and you're like, okay, you've studied, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to take this test. You can go in, you can take your time through the exam and go through it.
That's so nice. I, think about sitting through a high school like period, which was 45 minutes or whatever, and having to rush through exams. And sometimes that's so tough when it's a longer question and you need a few minutes to really think through it, process it, look at the choices and the multiple choice. And, we've been there getting questions wrong because we just didn't have the time to think through them. So it's so nice that most of the exams are self-paced and you can really think through all the questions and not feel that pressure to rush.
Mm-hmm.
Not hear that
Yeah.
ticking in your head like when you were in the classroom and it was really quiet because everybody was taking the test and there's that big clock right in front of you and you can just, it's so loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
true.
So we're taking the test, we finished the test, we're waiting for our grade. How does the grading work?
Mm-hmm. So grading system for your multiple choice exams, they're usually done pretty quick because they are multiple choice. For other exams, it can take a little bit depending on the grader, but you'll be able to check those things in your student portal. Now, when it comes to like the actual grade, like what's passing, so for our program, a 65 or above is going to be considered passing for your exams, and that translates to a D or above. So as long as you're maintaining a 65 for the course, then you're set to go. And then let's just say, you don't do too well on an exam, or you think you can do a little bit better. We do give you 2 opportunities to take those exams. So if you fail it the first time, for whatever reason, you have 30 days from that day you first took the exam to go ahead and retake it. And in those 30 days, you can go back in, review material, reach out to your instructors, get some help, and then go back in, more confidence, and nail it. So, yeah.
That's such a nice perk. Definitely was never able to do that in public high school. So it's great to have the opportunity to retake the exams and improve your grade. Take the time too to like learn the things that you didn't know and make
Mhm.
sure you do actually gain the knowledge that you're supposed to have. So that's a really cool feature of our program.
So Stephanie, let me ask you a quick question. So if you
Yeah.
take the exam and let's say you didn't fail it, but you didn't do as good as you wanted to do, can you still use that second attempt to just try to get your grade up a little bit higher, even if it wasn't failing the first time?
Yeah, of course. So if you pass the exam, but you didn't do as well as you thought and you want to retake it, you certainly can. You'll still have that 30-day window. And then we'll take the higher of the two grades. So, we'll take the best of what you did. Yep.
That's awesome.
So it definitely seems like there are some pretty big benefits to online school in terms of exams and how transfer credits work. But what are some other awesome perks of going to high school online, in your opinion, Stephanie?
Yeah, so one of the best perks that I always see is just flexibility. Hands down, it is like the main component of our course. I love bringing this up because you're not set in a strict schedule anymore. So if you're currently a high school student and you just want to maybe work more hours, maybe you just want some more free time, you need to help out with family or something, you have extracurriculars that you want to get more involved with. There are a million reasons why you would want more time. That's what you get with Penn Foster. You have that ability to log in whenever you'd like. Our program, what I like to say to students is our program is meant to fit around your schedule. We're not meant to fit around yours. So whatever you have going on, whenever you're able to log in, that's when you can do our program. So that is like a huge, huge perk of doing online schooling because you're not confined to those certain time periods that traditional school is. And same thing with our adult learners. If you have a family or a job or jobs, other responsibilities that you need to do, and you want to get your high school diploma, you still can. It's never too late to earn your high school degree, and our program is again meant to fit around your schedule. So fitting around all the things, all the responsibilities that you have.
So while the program is totally around the schedule of the person completing it, and kind of, you do it on your own time and the way that you want to, what happens if they need support or have
Mhm.
questions?
Yeah, so if students have questions, so after enrollment, there are a ton of opportunities for support. So let's say students have questions about course content. Like you have a question about a math exam. Everybody's have questions about math exams before, they're the worst. So if you have questions about that, you can reach out to your instructors. Now your instructors, they have a direct phone number that you can call into. And then you'll also meet them in your student portal. So we have now our onboarding experience where you'll be able to be introduced to your instructors, their email addresses, their contact information, so that if you have questions, you have someone that you can reach out to. Um, Now, let's say there's questions outside of just course material, which is bound to happen. Questions about payment information, your grades, something in the student portal. That's going to be our student service department. And student services, they are absolutely amazing. Even if you just need like someone to talk to be like, hey, this is going on, call into student services. They have a phone number and email address. You can reach out to them upon enrollment, and they'll be able to help you out with anything as well. And continuing on with resources, we have our student community, which is another great resource. This is where all of our students go. So once you get enrolled, you'll be able to log into the student community and you can connect with maybe other students your age, students that have same interests. A lot of our students use it for study buddies and tutoring. So again, it's another place to get help and to get resources. So it's just kind of more of that social aspect of our program as well. So there's a lot of places, a ton of people that you can reach out to here.
The student community, I feel like, is also just such a huge benefit because obviously one of the main difference between, going to school traditionally and going to school online is the interaction with your peers and your other classmates and things like that. So having the student community there available to you to, make friends or meet your course mates or talk about certain classes, or how did you do on this? How did you do on this? Stuff like that. It's really awesome to just have a community, which is something that I feel like people might look at online school and say, well, I don't have that, so I can't do it, but you do. It's a little different. It's, virtual, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice that it's there when you want it, because of course we all have days where we don't want to be social. We don't want to leave the house. We just want to keep to ourselves and do our thing. And that's completely fine. And you can do that, on the days that you want to. But when you do want to interact with other learners who are going through the same things that you are and are having some of the same experiences, and questions and things that excite you, it's there. The student community is there when you want it to be.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So if all of that sounds good to all of you watching, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about how enrolling in online high school actually works.
Yep. So it is a super straightforward process. We do not want to make this a maze for you to just get enrolled in school. So our process, I think I mentioned it over the phone, it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes total time to get enrolled. So we kind of streamline it to make sure that we can get you in there, get you started with everything. Now for enrollment, if you are an adult learner, so if you're 18 years of age or older, you can go and enroll whenever you're ready. So we have rolling enrollment. We don't have any admissions deadlines or any applications or anything like that you would have to fill out. You can enroll online, or you can call into our phone number, talk with an admission specialist like me, and we can help go over information, answer any questions that you might have about the program, get you enrolled. We can talk to you about getting your transfer credits in and stuff like that. And then once you make that first payment, set up your tuition and how you want to pay. We have a full pay and a monthly option. So you're definitely not, stuck with just one option. You have a couple options based on your budget. Once you've made a payment, you'll get a student ID number. We'll create a login for you. Our admission specialists are trained to, walk you right through that enrollment process, get you right into your student portal and set up, so that all you have to do is just log in and take classes. So we'll help you out through that whole process. Now for students that are between 13 and 17, so our traditional age students, you will need a parent or guardian to enroll. Because you will be under 18 years of age. And you'll need to also work with your school to make sure that you have everything that you need to unenroll from them and to get any transfer credits if you would choose to. So if you're under that 18-year mark, I always suggest call into us so that we can get you set up on the right track and get you started as soon as we can. So again, like I said, you can enroll online. If you call into us, we'll make sure that we get, all your transcript information, any school information that we would need. And we'll go through basically a very similar process, getting contact information, payment information, and then you'll be able to get started from there.
Nice. And for anyone who does want to call in, the phone number again for admissions is 1-888-427-6500. There's also more information on our high school program. And I know also we talked about career pathways, which are super cool if your next step after high school is kind of, leading towards getting into a career. We have all of that information on our website, pennfoster.edu.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us today and talking through everything that someone would need or want to know before going back to school online this year and making that switch. For all of you watching, thank you so much for joining us today to hear all this information. If you still have questions, feel free to reach out. We're here for you, and we hope to see you online. Continue to watch these, leave us comments, interact with us on social media. We love to chat in all of the ways.
Awesome. Thank you again, Stephanie. It was awesome having you, and we will see all of you on the next Facebook Live. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.